Hi there, my name is Marty Owings, and today we're going to check out this Duomo 50 Artist Pencil Set made in the Philippines. It contains 50 different pencils, and they're grouped by colored pencil, charcoal pencil, watercolor pencil, and then regular pencil with different softness and hardness, and then some metallic pencils. I'll go through each of these today. I'll demonstrate them, swatch them out, and we'll look at this set and see if it makes sense. I think the price point is really what attracted me to this set. It's a huge 18 by like 8-inch box, and it just seems cool to wrap this up and give it as a gift. But at $19 US or so, that's what I paid for it. I think that's a really affordable gift, or a way to get somebody engaged in art. This would be great for somebody just starting out, or who wants to experiment a little with different types of art materials, different types of pencils. So great for a child or anyone young or old who is just starting out. Now, the first thing I noticed about these colored pencils, and I'll try them first by swatching them out here, is that they're really soft. They go down really well. I wouldn't call them like an exceptional artist grade pencil or anything like that. They're definitely some kind of a student grade or below, and they're quite muted for a colored pencil. So you'll notice that you have to work pretty hard to get deep color out of these pencils, in terms of just adding color. But for somebody just starting out, this is perfect. For sketchbook stuff, this is perfect. It's not a sophisticated pencil or anything like that, but it is very good for like beginner grade stuff, or somebody who just, again, wants to experiment with colored pencils or different types of pencils. So we'll take a close look at these here, zoom in here, and you can see I'm using them on a kind of a toothy paper. It's not really toothy, but it's a watercolor paper, but I wanted to try it out anyway on this paper to see how rough or smoothly the colors came out. And you can see here, this is a good representation. Hey there, are you looking to give the gift of art this year? I have lots of original and affordable art for sale on my Etsy store for a limited time. While you're there, check out the 2 books I have for sale as well. My field sketching book contains some of my favorite sketches from the wild over the past 10 years. The Art and Recipes book by the Underground Artists League is filled with wonderful art by 30 different artists and recipes you're sure to enjoy. Join the channel today and become a member. All the links are in the description below. Happy holidays. Now back to the video. All right, the next thing we'll check out is these charcoal pencils that come in the set. This is the only set of pencils which are all the same. So there's no differentiation in hardness or softness. There's just 10 charcoal pencils, and they're all sort of the same pencil. So I sharpened these up in advance, so you didn't have to watch that boring bit. But I wanted to experiment with these because I've been using some vine charcoal lately and some General's charcoal pencils. Just kind of wanted to see how they compared. And they're okay. Again, this is like a very like student grade type pencil. So don't expect spectacular results if you're, a professional artist, but definitely good for beginners who want to experiment. Now the colored pencils, these are watercolor pencils. They differentiate. They do have the color on the tip here, as opposed to just all around, which is a weird differentiation. I guess they wanted to add the gold band just to denote that these were watercolor pencils. But again, I would recommend Duomo. Go the distance and because they're already stamping the pencils, just stamp the color name on there, and then people who are have some color blindness or issues with that type of thing can read them. Now, one of the things I was really impressed with on these pencils is when I was sharpening them, they weren't breaking leads. I wasn't having any trouble like that. And for an inexpensive watercolor pencil or any kind of line of pencils here, that's pretty good. And overall, that was the experience I had with these pencils. A little bit of breakage in the charcoal, but that's almost to be expected. It's very brittle. It tends to be very brittle. The other thing I really liked about these watercolor pencils, the color went down in dry form a lot, the way the the colored pencils did in the set, except they weren't as muted. They were actually a little bit more vibrant. And I learned very quickly, I think, why that is. And, I'm not looking at the exact pigments they're using or whether or not they're, using brighteners or anything like that. One of the things, though, that I want to call out as really good for a beginner set here is that on contact with the water, the color dissolves really uniformly. So if you look at when I get done and I've spread the paint out amongst all these swatches, you'll get a look at that and you'll see how easily it dissolves, because you won't see many pencil marks at the top where I made the original, put down the original color. You'll just see it kind of is dissolved into watercolor paint, which is really cool for an inexpensive pencil. At least in my opinion, it is. And I really enjoyed that part of this set and was really impressed by that. Now, granted, the colors are a little bit more muted than you might get with a straight watercolor paint or a more exceptional or high-end watercolor pencil such as, a Faber-Castell or a Caran d'Ache. There's just no comparison to that type of watercolor pencil. But also, those watercolor pencils are going to cost you a lot more money than these are. So again, for somebody who's wants to experiment using different types of pencils, especially these watercolor pencils, I would recommend it. I'm sorry they only give you 10 different colors, but that's kind of how it goes when you're going to offer a big set like this. Now, I think the packaging was a little bit overkill with this set, but not to the extreme. I'm not going to pick on them too bad for that. I am a little bit concerned that I didn't see any ASTM rating on these. I might have missed it, but it'd be nice to know that they're all certified and tested and stuff like that. Here I was doing just a little mixing with the colored pencils, and lo and behold, I did not expect what I got from the mixing, so I was pretty impressed by that. Here they are. They're I don't think this is cedar casing, at least that's not what my intuition tells me. Some other kind of wood here, but nonetheless decent. Okay, time to check out the pencil set. I was equally impressed by these pencils just because they're so inexpensive. They come in a range of hardness and softness, B being soft, H being hard. So you've got a 2H, an H, a 2H, a 3H, a 4H, and a 5H. And then on the other side, the soft side, you've got a B, a 2B, a 3B, a 4B, and a 5B, which is a good range. I like a nice, soft, dark pencil, so I tend to use like a 6 or an 8B if I want to get really dark. But I'm going to put these through their paces and kind of sketch out the lightness here to hardness, or hardness to softness here. So it's kind of going to be light to dark, so kind of a value scale, but just using the pencils themselves. So here we go, and now we're into the Bs. These are the softer pencils. And I'll do a little drawing here. Now, this one I kind of wanted to demonstrate how you could use the hard to soft pencils to kind of denote the transition between tonal values on this sphere. So if you've watched my channel for a long time, you know that my thing is to draw spheres. I love to draw them and kind of get that effect. They're good for still life practice as well. So here's a little piece of fruit and apple. I'll do the same, but I'm just going to use an H or a B type darker pencil, but just apply lighter pressure or harder pressure depending on whether I need dark or light. And then lastly, just a little cone here. But you can kind of see the graduate. If you use the pencils in the right way, like for value scale or something like that, they work out really well. Now, again, not the best pencils in the world, but for the money you're going to pay, a great way to start out. There's an up-close view of the 2H. Now, these I think do have cedar casing, which I kind of like. It seems like they upgraded the casings, at least for this particular 10 pencil set. All right, so now I'm just going to do a tree drawing using the various weights of the pencils. So there I started out like with a hard pencil, and now I'm going to go to a soft pencil on the darker side or the shadow side of this tree. And that kind of, I've demonstrated this in past videos, but if you're going to draw any object and you want to give it some kind of realism, you have to remember how light and shadow works on things. And sometimes just knowing the components and how light and shadow works in a drawing or painting make all the difference. All right, these are the metallic pencils, and it might just be me, and I'm not sure what I expected out of these, but they're definitely don't seem like they are putting down metallic type colors. But you know what? Maybe it's just to my eye, it's a little different. I even tried it on some Duomo paper. It's just really, it's a polypropylene paper. It's very slick, like almost plastic, just because I wanted to keep working it and see if I was going to kind of get a metallic sheen off these pencils or something like that. I'm not entirely sure if I'm doing anything right, because I don't really use metallic pencils in my practice, but I really wasn't getting the effect I thought I should. I even tried to wet these at one point just to see maybe I'm doing something wrong. But anyway, if you know anything I'm doing wrong with that, please comment in the comment section. So that's the colored pencils, which again are okay. Charcoal, just fine for a beginner. And yeah, these colored pencils, the watercolor pencils, were the ones I was most impressed with, and mostly because of the dissolvability and a good range of regular pencils. So overall, when you match the versatility, variety, and the quality of a set like this, and then you look at it and it's under $20, I think that makes a great gift for yourself or somebody else getting into art or wanting to experiment a little. So yeah, the link's in the description. Check it out. Thanks for stopping by today. This has been Marty for owingsart.com. Art and Recipes from the St. Paul Underground Artists League is a book filled with more than 100 pages of spectacular artwork and recipes for delicious food you can fix yourself at home. The art in this book represents the work of 29 brilliant members and includes oil paintings, watercolors, gouache, ink, acrylic, and other media. It represents nationally and internationally recognized painters, cartoonists, watercolorists, urban sketchers, and illustrators. Open up this book to a world of colorful art and cooking. Get yours today by contacting one of the artists in the book or pick up a copy from our friends at Wet Paint on Grand Avenue in good old St. Paul. Thank you for supporting local artists, and from everyone at the St. Paul Underground Artists League, all the best and bon appetit.